Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guest today is Nile Dusdieker, familiar voice on KCCK, who stops by once or twice a year during pledge drive time a couple of weeks ago, and now in to talk about your other passion, which
orchids.
is orchids, because it's time for the annual Orchid Show. First off, welcome.
Thank you very much. Yes, it's always good to be here. And KCCK has always supported the Eastern Iowa Orchid Society and our annual show, which is coming up. It's Orchids Are A Scream, the 10th anniversary show. It's our 10th show since we started this, and it's going to be at the Elks Lodge Hall on 33rd Avenue. And October 28th and 29th, doors open at 10 o'clock. And if you want to buy some orchids, there'll be a number of vendors. They sell out quickly, so come Saturday morning.
Oh, okay. Now, as anyone who's been around, as we've talked about this over the years, I think we've probably done an on-air spot every year that you've been doing the show. So our regular listeners kind of familiar with this. But when did you and Lois first start growing your own orchids?
Well, it's kind of a funny story. We built on an addition to the house because we had 3 kids and only 2 bedrooms for the kids. And the fella said, well, if I'm going to pour you a foundation on one side, why don't I pour a third garage? Well, then we had to figure out what to put on the third garage. And we put a little greenhouse on top of the third garage that we can walk out into. And I bought my wife the first orchid. We called it Baby. It was a beautiful white Phalaenopsis, much like you can buy at Lowe's and other places. And that lived a long time, and it became 2 and 4 and 16, and it's up to about 800 orchids now. So that greenhouse is pretty full.
That first Phalaenopsis really started something.
It did.
So, and you started, not only did you start with one plant, but it wasn't something, you didn't import it from Africa or something like that. It was literally just something you just picked up. Did you buy that locally or order it? Or?
We bought it. We bought it locally, and you can find orchids at nurseries locally. You can find orchids at some of the big box stores. And if you're traveling around the country, you go in Chicago. There's lovely orchid vendors in Chicago. And as you get into the addiction, you can go online, and now it's feasible to get orchids from really around the world legally. That's the important thing, legally. And you can get a really nice variety of orchids. Our club has a lot of orchid growers, and the growers in our club grow different things. Some of them have greenhouses, some grow in their windowsills. So it's fun. We have a variety of orchids, and the club is a very welcoming club. Our show has even a larger variety of orchids because we have orchid clubs from around the Midwest. Minnesota, a couple clubs from Wisconsin, a couple clubs from Illinois, 3 clubs from Iowa. It's just, it's fun. So there will be probably around 400 and some orchids on display at the show. And then we have 3 vendors from the Chicago area plus a local craft vendor that'll be selling things at the show.
So you have, as you said, clubs from around the Midwest. Do they specialize? Is there a regional theme or feel? Can you, as somebody who's into this, go, oh yeah, there's the Minnesota contingent. They're definitely different than the Illinois.
Actually, we're a fairly tight-knit group. We know each other, and so you recognize the club more by the people that come and set up. But certainly, Illinois, in the Chicago area, has a wide variety of things that they grow. Minnesota may be a little bit more limited because of the climate. We'll grow things that are just a little bit warmer here in Iowa. It always varies, and the members of the clubs sometimes get their own special area, and of course then their exhibits show that.
You'll be 2 days, and do you do some kind of seminars, continuing ed kind of thing? Okay, I want to go. I get an orchid, but I want to know how to take care of it. Will there be opportunities for me to learn about care and different kinds of orchids and things like that?
You bet. We have. We're going to have a number of docents, people from various clubs, but mostly from our club, that will wear a name tag that says "Ask Me." And you can ask them, and they'll go around and show you various orchids and how to grow them. The vendors are very good about this. The vendors have been at this for a long time, and they just love to talk orchids. So it's a lot of fun. And we have some great sponsors, PepsiCo and Raining Rose. And there usually are some Halloween gift items at the table as you leave the hall, so that's fun.
Right, because you almost always go the weekend before Halloween, hence the Orchids Are A... Say that again, the way you did.
Orchids Are A Scream!
Please do not adjust your radio. Your tweeters have not broken.
Well, we also asked the guests that attend the show, and of course it's easy to come in. It's free. It's very handicapped accessible, but we give everyone that comes in a ticket, and we ask them to vote for the People's Choice Award, which is their favorite orchid display in the show. And we tally that up about 3 o'clock on Sunday, and usually send out a press release as to which exhibit won. But people enjoy that, and it gives us a count on how many people come through the door. So it's a win-win situation for us.
It's the 28th and the 29th of October, the Eastern Iowa Orchid Show. All right, so I don't have an orchid, Nile. I'm kind of interested. What would you think? What's the best starter orchid?
Most people will start with a Phalaenopsis, and that's the ones that you will see at the various box stores. It's a flat-leafed
If I watch a cartoon, is that the one that sprouts out of Bugs Bunny's chest?
I don't know. Maybe so. Yeah, but it's probably one of the easier ones. The nicest thing about a Phalaenopsis, it's also called a moth orchid, is it has a nice spray of anywhere from 6 to 15 orchids. It will stay in bloom for months, and it is fairly easy to take care of as long as you don't use 3 ice cubes. They always say use ice cubes once a week. No.
Oh, because I think the idea is it melts
not too much
goes
water.
In gradually
That's
that
right.
way. Yeah.
That's right. But no, that's an easy one to start with. And the vendors will ask you, well, where do you want to grow it? And they will give you some suggestions.
Okay. So are there some will probably want direct sunlight, some probably be okay without so much?
That's right. That's right. I mean, there are what we call lady slippers, which are basically, they look like a slipper. They are semi-terrestrial. They can grow in a cool, damp, not too highlighted area. On the other hand, there are dancing ladies, which are oncidians, and they will like the light. Cattleyas, the corsage orchids, love light. So it depends on your environment and where you want to grow them.
So there's an orchid for
everyone.
Every taste and environment at the Eastern Iowa Orchid Show. It's coming up the 28th and the 29th. Free admission?
Free admission at the Elks Lodge, Elks Hall on 33rd Avenue. It's 801 33rd Avenue, and it starts at 10 o'clock Saturday and Sunday. Runs till 5 on Saturday, runs to 4 on Sunday. If anybody wants some more information, go to Eastern Iowa Orchid Society.org. One word, no spaces. But that's our website, and there's a lot of information on there about the show as well.
Okay, well, excellent. Well, it's kind of become a rite of fall for us all to have the orchid show at the end of the month with the Eastern Iowa Orchid Society. I hope you have big crowds, and thanks for being here today, Nile.
Thank you very much, and thanks to KCCK. Keep the jazz playing.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio many weekdays at 10:30 or download the podcast. Watch or listen on your own schedule at kcck.org/culture or using your favorite podcast player. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.